shirt.
Mayor Rudy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Finn.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Spear.
Here.
Councilmember Neal.
Present.
Councilmember Castle.
Here.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a proclamation for Americanism Day. I will read the proclamation. Proclaiming March 17th, 2019 as Americanism Day in the city of Evans, Colorado. Whereas in this time and throughout our history, the American Republic has found strength in its citizens' loyalty to the great national principles and ideals upon which this country was founded. And whereas everyday Americans at home and abroad bear witness to their national allegiance by extending deep devotion and sacrifice, some even at the cost of their lives. And whereas continuing threat of terrorism on this great nation has only helped to unite and strengthen America, making Americans more determined, more generous, and proud to meet the challenges we face in defending our freedom. Whereas all loyal citizens should stand up and be proud that we are Americans and should make it clearly known for all that our democracy will long endure. And whereas it is fitting that we set aside one day in the year when every citizen may pause to reflect on his debt to the devotion of other Americans and to bear witness in every appropriate way to his own Americanism. Now, therefore, I, Brian Rudy, Mayor of the City of Evans, do hereby proclaim March 17th, 2019 as Americanism Day in the City of Evans. I understand there is a gentleman to present this to.
No problem, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll give you this proclamation on behalf of the City of Evans.
Okay.
Feel free to please state your name and talk to us a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Charles.
This is an annual thing that we do every year. We honor all the first responders, whether they be fire, police, emergency, you know, and we'd love to have all of them there. We invite them all, and as a matter of fact, I would extend an invitation to all of you to be there on the 17th at 2 o'clock to watch this. And as a matter of fact, I would like to extend an invitation to the Mayor, Brian Rudy, to read this proclamation at our service.
I'd be honored to, and I will first. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Okay, my name is Dave Gillette. I'm have several positions with the VFW, from district to national to department. But like I said, I'm just backing up the commander here, inviting you all to come to our Americanism. It is, like I said, it gives us a chance to support the community and support the first responders here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, gentlemen, so much for being here. Next item on the agenda is audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address City Council? Please step forward to the podium, state your name and address. Thank you for being here.
My name is Dave Coleman, 14824 Fillmore Way, Thornton, Colorado. So I'm the new community relations manager for PDC Energy. So we're a Denver-based oil and gas company that you are obviously familiar with. We have an office right here in your city, just down the road a little bit. We have about 200 employees employed in our Evans office, and we actually have 21 of our employees actually live in the city of Evans. So I'm here just to introduce myself, being new. I don't know many of you. I definitely look forward to meeting some of you, your town staff. We do a lot in the community, so I lead that team. I have a team of myself and one other, so we do a lot related to volunteerism and related to financial donations, contributions, and helping out in the communities we operate. And at PDC, we're very serious about that and take that very seriously. We are working with your recreation department to sponsor some of the Riverside baseball fields for this upcoming year. We also have a community day where all of our employees volunteer, and we're working with that same recreation department to see if there's opportunities to help in the Riverside Park. We did that last year. If there's opportunities again this year, we would love that opportunity. So we've also sponsoring some High Plains Library District. We are working through their Summer Reads program. I know they support the Evans community, so we're also looking forward to that opportunity. So I'm always open for other suggestions. If any of you guys live in the communities, you're the leaders in the communities. If you know of any other organizations that could use some support from PDC Energy, would love to hear about them. Would love to hear those ideas and see if we can make that happen. So here to introduce myself, I have business cards. Can I hand some business cards to you to give to the City Council? And if you ever have any questions or concerns about PDC Energy, please don't hesitate to give me a call anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address City Council? Seeing none, I'd like to just take 30 seconds as mayor and participate in the audience participation. And I'm sure most people here know, just want to talk 30 seconds about something neat, something that happened really neat here around our community in the last weekend. Andrew Alirez is a wrestler for Greeley Central High School. I've gotten off the phone with Mayor Norton. They are presenting him with a plaque tonight at their city council meeting. He is a resident of Evans, but he goes to a Greeley Evans school, Greeley Central High School. Andrew Alirez, and in full disclosure, by the way, I should mention I am also his coach. With that being said, I did not teach that kid much. He became Weld County, the first wrestler ever in the history of Weld County to be a 4-time state champion. So I wanted to recognize Andrew Alirez real quick. It's never happened in Weld County before, and it's only the 20th time it's ever happened in the state of Colorado. So pretty proud for somebody from this area, from the Greeley Evans School, to be able to do something only 20 people have ever done before, and no one in Weld County had done. So I just wanted to mention Andrew Alirez real quick, 4-time state champion. He will be wrestling, by the way, in the future. He could have gone to any school he wanted. He is that good, and he chose to go to the University of Northern Colorado and stay here in town. So everybody's going to get to watch him in the future. So it's a pretty neat deal. Congratulations, Andrew. Moving on, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item 7, consent agenda. Item A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting, excuse me, of February 19th, 2019.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item 8, new business. Item A, public hearing, consideration of ordinance number 692-19 and ordinance amending chapter 5.08 of the Evans Municipal Code to conform with recent revisions to the Colorado Revised Statutes. I will open the public hearing and hear from staff.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, members of the council. And this ordinance would update our liquor licensing code section, and I'll ask our city clerk, Karen Frawley, to present.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As Jim said, back in October of 2018, the Colorado Liquor Enforcement Division completed their recodification of the Colorado Revised Statutes. And in that, they moved all of the liquor code from Title 12 to Title 44. And this ordinance is just going to bring our code where it references any of those titles to be the same as the states.
That concludes our remarks, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in favor of this public hearing? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to oppose this public hearing item? None, I'm assuming there is no rebuttal. Any questions of staff? Hearing none, I would close the public hearing. Discussion?
It's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Keep up stage.
Hearing no more discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve ordinance 692-19 as proposed.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 692-19. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item B, consideration of award of contract construction management for the 37th Street Utilities Improvement Project. Turn it to you, staff.
Thank you, Mayor. As visible as our 35th Avenue project is, I would say that our 37th Street utility improvements will be even more visible this summer as they get going. So we are recommending that we put some extra resources to making sure that goes well, and I'll ask our Public Works and Community Development Director, Randy Reedy, to make a brief presentation, and then we'll ask for your approval of a contract.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. We are happy to present this proposed contract to you for construction management of the 37th Street Utilities Improvement Project. This is a complicated project that involves 3 city utilities, the stormwater, wastewater, and water system. It is funded from those 3 funds, as well as a $1 million grant from the Department of Local Affairs for energy impact assistance. This is a project that's both visible, as Jim mentioned, highly complex, and going to require a great deal of coordination. We continue at this point to recruit for a city engineer. We hope to be zeroing in on that, but we do not have someone in that position right now. We do have a number of other significant projects on your behalf that we're completing this summer, and because of the complexity of this, we are recommending that we go this route with a construction management firm. We did go out to bid for this service, received interest from 5 firms, bids or proposals from 2, and we are proposing tonight that you accept the proposal from the Roxall Consulting Group, based out of Loveland. They are proposing a very experienced construction management oversight person, happens to reside in Greeley, so he's a local person, 8 years of experience as the Region 4 utilities engineer. So it's a gentleman that whose references check out. We believe knows what he's doing. Will be able to coordinate this work well for us, not only our utilities, but we'll be working around other electric and fiber and other utilities, as well as trying to present a real minimum of inconvenience to traveling public on what is our main street. This is 1.2 miles of utility work. Will be followed with another contract later this year, early next year, for the overlay that will finish this project. Basically stretches from 23rd Avenue to the railroad tracks. So I did touch on the financing for this, where we're getting the funding. It is a time and expense based contract, not to exceed $157,710. It will be based only on the amount of effort and time and materials that they put into the project, and we'll manage that closely. We are recommending your approval of this contract with a 10% project contingency to be maintained by the city and not used unless there are bona fide reasons to do that as the project moves forward. Happy to respond to any questions you might have.
Thank you. Questions?
I just have a comment. The previous, at least 3 big projects, I guess, that we had, where we did hire a management company to manage them, I think have turned out brilliantly. So I hate to see this money being spent, but if we get the quality that we had on the previous projects, I'm really for this. Thank you very much.
Save us money in the long run.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, it did on those other projects.
It did save it. Mm-hmm.
And without an engineer in residence, it would be beneficial probably to go ahead and get it planned that way. What you said this gentleman worked for Region 4. Did you have his name?
I do. I have not met him yet, but our staff has. His name is Rudy Sipnevsky.
Any other questions of staff, comments? Not, entertain a motion.
I move to award the contract for construction management of the 37th Street Utilities Improvement Project to Roxall Consulting Group in the amount of $157,710 with a $1,771 project contingency to be held by the city, and to authorize the mayor's signature on the contract.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to award the contract for construction management of the 37th Street Utilities Improvement Project to Roxol Consulting Group, the amount of $157,710 with a $15,771 project contingency to be held by the city and authorize the mayor's signature on the contract. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item C, consideration of the second amendment to the intergovernmental agreement with the Central Colorado Water Conservancy District for exchange of water storage and augmentation of water. Wow. We'll hear from staff.
Thank you, Mayor. No, City Attorney Scott Krob negotiated the amendment, so I think he's probably in the best position to present it.
All right. Thank you. Mayor and members of council, in 2008, the City of Evans entered into an intergovernmental agreement, an IGA, with Central Water Conservancy District. The purpose of the original IGA was to obtain storage, the right to store water in Nissen Reservoir, which belongs to Central. And in exchange, we allowed them to use some of our water rights, specifically some of the Godfrey ditch shares that we had at the time. About 2 years ago, when we realized that we were going to try and give the Godfrey ditch shares back, we did the first amendment to the IGA, and that first amendment allowed us to substitute other types of water rights for the Godfrey ditch shares. So we give them some of our GLIC water and our Lake Lovin water. The way it works is we give them some of that water, they let us store water rights we have in Nissen Reservoir, and then the water that we store in Nissen Reservoir is used primarily to augment a well that provides water to the Envirotech plant. And also to augment a well that irrigates one of the city's parks. So now that the ditch shares have been given back, the second amendment essentially confirms that that's happened. It also, there was a tailing obligation at the end of the agreement that said, City of Evans, whenever we're through with this agreement, Central can go ahead and lease the water rights that it's been obtaining from the city for a set price. And that set price was not very advantageous to the city. So the second amendment also cuts off their right to do that. It just sort of explains the way that the plan will operate from now through the end of the IGA, which is in the year 2023. One sort of kicker is that under the IGA, if either party, especially if the City of Evans, changed the deal, changed the water sources that were going to be used, then whoever changed the deal had to pay the engineering costs and the attorney's fees of the other party to accommodate that change. And it probably is fair because by changing the water rights that we are providing to Central, they had to reformulate their diversion plans, how and when they take GLIC water versus Godfrey ditch water. And then they also have to provide notice to the court that under their augmentation plan, they're going to be using GLIC water instead of Godfrey ditch share water. As a result of that, they spent $4,690.50 that under the IGA, Evans is obligated to pay to them. So the second amendment would authorize all of those things and authorizing the mayor to sign that. Be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Scott. Questions of Scott or staff? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the second amendment of the intergovernmental agreement with Central Colorado Water Conservancy District for exchange of water storage and augmentation water.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the second amendment of the intergovernmental agreement with Central Colorado Water Conservancy District for exchange of water storage and augmentation water. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thanks, Scott. Item 9, report, city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to point out two things. First, in the weekly update that is in the packet and also made public and sent to boards and commissions, there is now a land use application status report. So if you haven't seen that, I know that came out of a joint session with the Planning Commission where we'll keep a running list of the applications that we have and what's going on with them and where they are in the process. So hopefully that'll bring a little bit more information on that. And then I also wanted to play off of Councilmember Neal's point. Thank him very much. The city is proud of certainly the way that the police department supports the Special Olympics And the chief and I did have some fun last week with a little challenge. We are going to do the polar plunge, and I did hear today that we're well on our way, if not over, reaching that goal of $1,000 fundraising. So that was fun, and I'm really glad that we are doing that. And we'll let you know how the plunge goes after Saturday. That's all we have, Mayor.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. City Attorney.
Mayor. Oops. Thank you, Mayor. Really not much to update you in the attorney side. We can discuss a couple matters during executive session.
Yeah, thank you. Next item on the agenda is audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address City Council on any item? Yes, sir. You can see you're going back and forth.
I was wavering. I've been here before. I'm Richard Wiest on 65th Avenue, and it's about the Peak View project. And I'll give the developer credit. We've been talking privately between him and, but my concerns are traffic and trash. I'm directly south of him. I don't know if you remember. I'll have the trash we know the wind blows in Colorado. It's trash day. Who's going to get all the trash? I am. I'm going to have the kids. I have a working farm. I'm going to have their dogs. I still farm, so I have all my tools, my farm stuff. It's a sad thing today, but drugs are a big deal. Kids are going to need money. I'm the first place they're going to go. I have gas, fuel stored there. I'm an easy prey. So I'm trying to get it. So I'm just, like I say, the guys have not said no to a fence, but I just kind of like to bring it up again to use to maybe put a little pressure to realize what you're bringing into. You're bringing 1,000 homes right up against me. So I'll just maybe ask for your consideration and thoughts, maybe. You know, they brought up, well, you got a school out there. Well, the school has a fence around it. And the kids, it's a closed campus, of course, but still, there's a fence around it. So maybe even in the future, when you do developments, they have to be, use the word contained. You know, they were going to put a fence on their entrances, but that isn't where the problem is. It's their neighbors. So I just brought it up again. So you think about it, and I appreciate anything you can do for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Anyone else in the audience wish to address City Council on any item? Next item on the agenda is an executive session.
I move a correction to the agenda. RA. Is that what he's going to read now?
That's an executive session as well, right?
Pardon me?
That's an executive session as well, so I figured we had to go into ERA.
There's a minor correction to the title of the redevelopment agency executive session.
Okay, we'll go into that one after this.
Right, gotcha.
I move to go into executive session to receive legal advice and to discuss matters that may be subject to negotiation, developing strategy for negotiation, and instructing negotiators involving the city's pending litigation pursuant to CRS 24-6-402, Section B, subsection E.
A second.
I have a motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight.
Thank you.